Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're back for the 4th episode.
We are so happy to bring you Roger That 4.0.
4.0. This is the next episode. After this one, I believe we're going to release 5.0. Is that right?
Well, 5 comes after 4, so...
So Roger that.
Oh my god. He's starting it early, you guys. But that's okay, because I have my wine here, and I can deal with him. So, what's been up with you, Tony?
Nothing. Just continuing the transition and everything with the jobs and all that. Don't break my balls about unemployment. I'm not currently employed.
You
Still
know,
making a salary. How you doing? Still could take any of you dozens and dozens of ladies out on a date as long as they don't spend more than $12.95.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, are you having to dip into your savings fund to take a girl out?
I'm still on salary, but the limit is $12.95. That's my standard operating procedure.
And it's Dutch, right? She has to pay her half.
No, if she goes over $12.95, then of course.
You sit there with a calculator and be like, okay, your meal was $10.99, and then you wanted this appetizer, but I only ate 2 bites of it, so technically you have more of the appetizer than I did. You break it down like that.
Absolutely. And
such a douche.
We built off last week's who pays for the meal conversation.
All right, so tell
me. I had
me.
a job interview.
Yeah, tell me about it.
It went really, really well. Great conversation. I should be hearing back from them on Monday. Maybe Tuesday because it's the holiday. I'm not sure if she realized that when she told me that they'll be hearing back from them.
She said that you'd hear back from her on Monday, not realizing that Monday is a holiday. So it kind of sounds to me like maybe they don't quite have their shit together.
No, maybe not, but I'm not really sure if I have my shit together either, so I think it'd be a good match in that regard.
So, something happened, right?
What do you mean something happened? Why did something have to happen?
It was just a good interview. Tell the people about your interview, or about what happened leading up to your interview, because I thought it was hilarious.
So it's my first interview. And this transition process, as I was saying earlier, $12.95. How you doing? And I get had a phone screen with them about a month ago before the interview, and they told me, okay, yeah, we'll have you. We're located in Austin. It'll be 13 January, just Friday the 13th. Also,
already a bad sign, right?
Also, I had a niece born. Shout out to Olivia. She was born on Friday the 13th. My second.
That's an awesome fucking birthday to have.
Yes, this is pretty cool demon child, Olivia. I'll make sure I stay on her good side. She fucking haunt me. Anyway, I get down to so we set up the interview for Friday the 13th, and I get the email from them, and I haven't looked at the email in some time, so I'm getting ready for the interview. I'm suited up, G'd up from the feet up. How you doing? And I got the suit on, the tie. I get there an hour early. I'm looking forward to making a good impression. I've been,
Oh, he looked really good in his suit, by the way. He sent me a picture. I was like, you go, Tony. You go.
I thought, thanks, Gogo. That means a lot. And I'm there. I'm waiting there an hour early, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm here early like an idiot, so I just chill out, I guess. I put the music on in the car. Put the the Barry Manilow, the Barry White.
Okay, let's not get too extra. Keep going.
Setting the mood. And I go and I was like, all right, so it's 20 minutes before the interview, and I'm like, okay, I was parked up the road from there, and I was like, let me go drive over, and I check the email again one more time before I go in, make sure I got the I's crossed and the T's dotted. So,
because that's definitely how that phrase goes.
Absolutely. So ensuring that the I's were crossed and the T's were dotted, I read on the email, this email is to confirm your phone interview for January 13th.
Oh, what an idiot.
And
I'm sorry, that was so dumb.
I was looking at it. And I looked at it for like 2 minutes.
Wait, did you tell him how far of a drive it was?
It's an hour drive.
Oh, okay.
And I was there an hour early. And I'm sitting there reading the email, and I'm like in disbelief. I'm like, no, wait, this isn't right. But no, it was definitely right, because I was like, well, let me wait till I get a phone call. Short, like at the appointment time. And then I got a phone call, and they're like, yes, we're ready for the phone interview. And I'm like, yes, I definitely am too. Sitting here, parked right outside your office in a suit and tie. Let me know if this goes well, because we could do the follow-up interview right now after this. Holy shit. I just started laughing hysterically at myself.
Yeah.
Immediately after I realized.
That's like, if that's any indication of your job transitioning phase, then you're probably screwed.
I'm either screwed or I'm taking really good initiative.
I feel like they lean more towards you being screwed.
Hey, they don't have to know about that. That's why we're not saying too many details about any of the details.
I still thought that was hilarious, so oh goodness.
Yeah, it was fucking.
Everyone like fucks up, so it's not like a bad fuck up. Like, they didn't know, so
it was
on a personal level.
On a personal level, it's like Jesus.
Yeah.
But I was a little nervous before the interview. Was my first one. But then when it was a phone interview, I was like, oh wait, this like changes. So I was like really loose on the phone and. Being on the phone, so it did go well.
Do you want to work for that company, you think, or
we'll see what happens.
I mean, it's a yes or no question. Like, either you do or you don't.
I would work for them.
Okay, cool. That's all I wanted to know.
Okay, well now you know.
Thanks for that.
So if anybody has interview tips or techniques, or wants to do a couple practice runs, let me know, and I could come there with a suit, and then you could give me a phone call and we could talk about it while I'm parked outside your office.
Or since Tony did all this prep work, this unnecessary driving and being there early, maybe he can give some interview tips. Like, first, make sure you double check your email to make sure it is the correct type of interview. Like, you are prepared for.
You know what? In life, there are no mistakes. There are only there are only lessons. Yeah. So that is like one of my most irritating phrases, is that there are no mistakes, there are only lessons. But it is true in many regards. But I think there are just mistakes, and sometimes you could just be fucking with people if you're infringing on others. But this time it was. I would say it's probably both a mistake and a lesson, because I had a good run getting my shit ready to go.
Yeah.
But
you're gonna be super prepared for any follow-up interviews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the ones I have this weekend that I'm like.
Not this weekend, on Monday.
Yeah, okay. What do I know, right?
Words matter, Tony. Words matter.
Words mean things, you guys.
They do. They mean things.
Language
is important. And we're actually going to talk about language a little bit later.
Yeah, that should be interesting.
Man, that would have been like a great segue, but whatever.
That would have been. We could talk about it now.
No, we have to talk about my interesting things to say.
You're interesting. I didn't know what I was saying was an interesting thing to say.
I mean, it wasn't, but it was something to say.
But we could call your thing interesting, too. What do you got for us?
Okay, so.
That's a decent segue. We worked it out.
So last week I didn't have anything interesting to add to, like, hey, what's been going on in your life? But fortunately, this past, I guess, day, really, I had some things happen. And so I'm going to share it with you guys. So first of all, I was supposed to have a date with this guy, and I'm actually going to talk about that a little bit later. He ended up canceling on me, like the douchebag that he is, and so that kind of...
Well, maybe something came up. Maybe he had a family emergency or some shit.
Something comes up with him all the time, but I'll get into that later. Yeah, so he canceled on me, and that opened up the door for me to actually go out with this other guy that I met on Bumble. Yeah, so, like, we were just, talking, whatever. And I was like, sure, I'll meet you. So I went to this bar in downtown Austin that I've never been to called Easy Tiger. It's pretty cool. It's a beer garden. Had a nice selection of drinks. So went out with him. It was nice. He paid for all my drinks. Like, he didn't even hesitate. Oh, there was this one part.
Did you thumb at the bartender?
No, but
let
me tell you this. So, like, we're at the bar. So, like, he was there before me, so he had gotten a drink ahead of time. And so I went to the bar to get my drink, and I ordered a glass of wine. And so the lady looked at him, and she was like, "Oh, are you paying for hers too?" I was like, "Bitch, look at me. Of course he's paying for mine." I'm like, are you fucking serious?
God.
I just thought that was so weird.
Maybe she was flirting with him before you got there.
I don't know, but her loss. Anyway, so, yeah. So that date went well. We had a good time.
How did it end?
It ended very appropriately for the time that we had. It was good.
Wow. If the fact that she's not giving us a blow-by-blow detail says that it probably did go pretty good.
I'm trying to be a better person.
She only shares her disasters.
I know. Like, only, like, the bad stuff. But, like, it really wasn't... It wasn't a bad day. We did have pizza at the end. That was awesome. We ordered pizza. It was so good. I love food and pizza.
I fucking love food.
Yeah, I know. It's so good. So, but, like, one interesting thing is he is actually Middle Eastern.
Oh, nice.
He's half Saudi.
I don't know why I said nice like that.
I know. He's half Saudi, half Iranian. Or Iranian, however you're supposed to pronounce it. Because it's like Iran and not Iran, right?
I don't fucking know. I'm Italian. I hear these people say mozzarella instead of mozzarella all the time. Yeah.
What? What the fuck? What'd you just say? Mozzarella?
It's pronounced mozzarella, but you don't. But
I can't even pronounce this. I don't know what you're saying. So whatever.
So Iran,
anyways,
Iran.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So he's Middle Eastern. So I mean that's cool because like I'm equal opportunity as fuck. So that was an interesting experience. He's like the second Middle Eastern guy that I've gone on a date with. The one thing that...
If Coco goes on a date, I guess we know how it ends.
But one thing I thought was kind of funny, him being the second Middle Eastern guy that I've been out with, is they are very straightforward and I don't want to say controlling, but they kind of take control of the situation. So, like, halfway through the day, he was like, so our next date, this is what we're going to do, and this is what we're going to do, and the next date, we're going to do this, and, like, part of me was like, ooh, this is sexy, like, he takes charge, and then another part of me was like, wait a minute, he's from a different culture, like, I don't know, like, do I have to, like, become a Muslim and wear, like, the hijab, and, like, what's going to happen, you know, so, like, I had to, like, pause and, like, think about it, because...
Well, you're not looking for a relationship, though.
I'm not, but he doesn't know that, but it was... You know, I was just thinking it through. Like, I like when a guy takes charge. Like, that's, like, super hot to me. But I had to think about it in a different context. Like, him taking charge is, like, normal for their culture, really. Because, like, men have so much power. But, like, here in America, men still have a lot of power. But it's
women's rights stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So, like...
There's anything wrong with it.
But yeah, so I had to think about that. It's so crazy. But anyway, so yeah, the last few days have been good, except for that guy who stood me up.
But with one closed door opens another one.
But that door may be opening again. He texted me. He was like, "I'm sorry." Blah blah.
Oh my
blah,
god,
blah,
that's
blah.
why he keeps blowing you because you keep being like, "Oh well, I'll just keep talking to him." Like he didn't just blow me off.
Well, it's not so much that I keep talking to him. It's just. Like, yes, I do keep talking to him, but I'm not, like, very nice. I'm like, oh, what do you want? Oh, he texted me today, and I was like, new phone, who dis? And then I told him, you know, like, that he was, like, a total BSer, and I don't know, we'll see. Like, part of me is just like, fuck you, dude. Like, you've had, like, so many chances to, like, go out with me and hang out with me, but every time, like, something comes up. Which really... goes into like our first topic I wanted to talk about, was just like things not coming to fruition.
Like my job interview.
Technically it happened and just didn't happen the way that you thought it would.
That's right. It's like I got catfished.
But honestly, I don't understand like guys who do that, who like talk to girls and like, yeah, we should hang out or we should do something, and then when she's like, okay, yeah, cool, let's do something, and it's like, oh wait, I can't this day, or oh wait, sorry, this happened.
I think I can answer that.
Is it because guys like to chase? What is it?
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but what I was thinking was they're probably horny as fuck when they're telling you that they want to hang out, and I think that every man.
So he was horny, but then he found a better option.
maybe he masturbated or something. He was able to think clearly. Not that. I think you met someone that you really like when after you have relations or whatever, and you get off or whatever. You're like, oh, I could still tolerate being around this person. That's how you know it might be something special, because when you're horny as fuck, you're not thinking straight.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. Like, maybe he was horny, but like the whole thing. So like, we met at a speed dating event, and there were a lot of attractive girls there. So I didn't initially get the vibe that he was interested, but I wasn't looking for a guy to date. I was just looking for somebody to hang out with. And so, like, after that, he was like, hey, a bunch of us are going to this bar. You should come. So, like, I come. Like, we talk. We're being flirty or whatever. And we were supposed to hang out again. This is, like, several months ago. And so, like, we don't talk every day, obviously. But we'll talk, like, once a week or once, like, every other week. And so, like, we're just talking about, like, random things. And then it comes back to, like, so when do you want to hang out? Or when are you free? And, like, we set a date, we set a place, we set a time, we have it all set out. And then, like, a couple hours before, it's like, oh, sorry, something came up, or, oh, work's really busy, or whatever. Every fucking time.
Well, you just gotta do it back to him. Or maybe he made plans with someone.
I don't know. It's just annoying because, like, I even told him, I was like, I'm not on your dick. Like, I don't want you, like, for a relationship. Like, I'm just trying to be your friend because, like, we met, we talked, it was cool.
He might think you're bullshitting.
You think so? I don't know.
It could be.
I feel like if I was, like, being a bugaboo and, like, texting him all the time, but, like, most of the time he texts me first because, like, I'm just not that.
But you always text back.
I always text back. So maybe I am part of the problem. I don't know. But right now he's in New York, so he said...
This is part of that whole, that there's, like, this communication divide amongst, like, these modern, like,
so, like, are you saying, like, when he texts me, like, I shouldn't text back? I should just, like, blow him off? Instead of being, like, really mean?
Yeah, I've been... Just, like, or, like, just don't do it right away. Or do it, like, the next day, or...
I guess I could do that. I should wait. But I don't know. It's just so annoying. Like, why even make plans if you don't plan on carrying them out? Like, just say you're not interested. Unless you like playing the game. So that's, like, where I'm at. I'm like, maybe he just likes playing the game. But also, like, I'm the wrong one. Because I don't actually want him. I just, like, want to hang out with him and, like, make sure that he's cool.
And have a good date. And then,
see what happens.
Tell us all about the weird shit.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got 4 nipples or something.
Let's hope not. But that's it. But I don't know. He said that he's going to make it up to me when he gets back. So we'll see. I'm not even holding my breath.
On a scale of 1 to even, I am literally not.
Not even.
Literally not even.
I'm literally not even worried about it. I even told him, I was like, you know what? You canceled on me. So luckily I had a backup plan. And I was like, and he was a good date. So.
What did he say?
He said something like,
That's a pretty passive-aggressive comment to make to him.
Yeah, I know. I know what I'm doing. But he was just like...
This is why the world's fucked up.
Yeah, he was like, like, that guy can't replace me or something. I was like, I don't know. I was like, he did a pretty good job, so I'll see when you get back. But it's not looking too good for you.
God. These both sound like tools.
Maybe we are. Whatever. Anyways, I don't know. I just don't know. I just feel like, for me, it's like, if you're not interested, just say so. If you don't want to do something, just say no. I say no all the fucking time. Like, hey, no. What's your name? No. What are you doing? No. What's your favorite color? No. Like, I just say no all the time. Like, I don't even want you to fucking talk to me. If I'm not looking at you, if I'm not making eyes at you, like, don't fucking talk to me. If you do, I'm just going to say no and walk away.
Maybe they just, like, want to, like...
I don't know. I'm a bitch, too, so...
Okay, thank you for saying that, so I don't have to...
I can recognize the bitchiness in me. Don't worry. So, I mean, okay. So, that was whatever. What the fuck ever.
Yeah, and, Maybe he'll have something that maybe he can make up for it all when he gets back from New York. How you doing?
Well,
shout out to that guy, by the way.
We'll see. But I mean, that kind of we briefly talked about my rant last weekend, but I mean, it kind of like brings me back to my rant about guys. Like
fucking Snapchat rant that's going on that I still don't know. What was it that you want any dick?
I don't want any dick. Shut up. I'm not a hoe. I don't want any dick. I just want someone who is consistent.
It was 1 or 2 dicks that you want.
Yeah, well,
at the same time.
Not at the same time. A girl likes variety, okay? So, the acronym that I came up with was SCC.
She wants a black one and a white one. Because you want variety. At the same time, these nuts.
As long as it's good, I don't care what color it is.
Or how many.
So,
never denied it.
Okay, so my acronym. It was good sex is the S. Consistency and communication. So, like, my whole rant was just, like, I'm so tired of guys who, like, they'll, like, if you tell them what you want, they seem like they're okay with it, but then it's kind of like they're really not. And it goes back to this whole thing, like, I think guys just like the game. Because, like, when I go in and be like, hey, this is what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a relationship.
But you just said you play the game a little bit, too. You said you know what you're doing.
I do.
So you like it, too.
It depends. It's not every guy. So, like, some guys I'll play the game with them. Some guys I won't. Like, I'm just like, this is what I'm here for. And if you're not here for it, then cool. Bye.
Then we'll play the game.
No.
Then you don't play the game? I thought you said you played the game with those.
I play the game with certain guys.
Oh, okay.
Other guys I don't, because I just don't have time.
Poor bastards.
Yeah, poor guys. Poor schmucks. But I don't know. I don't get, like, the communication piece of it. So, I mean, if I tell you this is what I'm looking for, and guys all the time say, like, oh, I like a girl who knows what she wants, or, oh, I don't want to be in a relationship. So I like girls who are okay with, like, casual relationships. And, like, you say that you're okay with a casual relationship, and then just, like, up and bounce. So I've noticed, like, when I don't lead with that, and a guy thinks I'm actually interested in a relationship, then, like, they're more likely to stick around. And I think it's because, like, they like the whole idea of a girl wanting them, but them not wanting her. Does that make sense? But, like, if you say, like, hey.
Like, people are confused. It's because being in a relationship it's a big, it's a big deal. It's committing to somebody.
Yeah.
And I think today, like, you just go out with so many different. You could go out with so many different people. I think it's confusing. I
guess I don't get what's confusing about it. Like, if I'm going out with you and I say that I'm not looking for a relationship, I just want someone that I can hook up with when I want to, and then I want you gone when I want you gone. Like, that's, like, so straightforward to me. And I just don't see why any guy, unless he's really looking for a relationship, I don't see why any guy wouldn't be down for that. It's like, hey, you're getting your dick wet, and you also get a girl who's not needy. Win-win. Hello. At least that's how I think of it.
They're probably talking to multiple girls, and
I don't fucking know. Why not go for the
factor?
Why not talk to the girl who doesn't want anything from you, except the one thing?
Because maybe they want something.
No, they don't. They're playing the fucking field. They don't want anything, except to feel that they have some power over the woman because she wants a relationship.
Here we go.
I swear that's what it is. That has to be. I don't know what else it would be. Like, how come every guy that I go out with, if I don't say what I'm looking for and I make them think I want a relationship, they're the ones who always come back. But then the ones that I'm just like, hey, I'm not looking for a relationship, they're the ones who are, like, nowhere to be found. Isn't that weird? Right? I don't know. I appreciate honesty, so, like, I love that shit. So, like, if a guy was like, hey, I'm not looking for a relationship, this is what I'm into, I'm like, okay, cool. Either I'm into it too or I'm not. But I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it goes back to society's confused.
Maybe. I don't know. But, like, that was, like, the basis of my rant. Because, like, everything is, like, so double standard, too. Because, like, you know, like, I was talking about, like, how I want sex. And, like, a guy can say he wants sex all the time. And it's just like, oh, bro, that's cool. And they're going to, like, fist bump you or chest bump you. And, like, everything's cool. But, like, a girl says she wants sex. And then it's like, oh, somebody go sew the scarlet letter on her chest. She must be a hoe or a thought or whatever other term.
I think it's changing. I think it's become more accepted. It's definitely gotten more accepted in recent years.
Yeah. I hope so.
You're like, yeah, I know. I'm a lot more accepted now than I've been.
Oh, God, if this was like 20 years ago, I couldn't even like show my face, I'm sure. I don't know. Sometimes I just hate guys. You guys are stupid. That's all I have on that topic. Whatever. It's like making me mad. So we're going to move on.
Yeah, let's move on. What's next here?
So we have several things.
Okay, pick one.
Let's talk about... This actually kind of goes without the next one. About birth control.
Birth control, or was this the budget?
This is the budget.
This is the budget. It's not a birth control issue necessarily.
It affects the funding for birth control.
It affects the funding for everything. It's a budget thing.
Not for everything.
It's the whole budget?
It's the budget for the Affordable Care Act. So they're trying to repeal it. So they're voting on the budget.
So what was the vote like on that?
Was it 51 to 42?
I think it was 51 to 48.
51 and 48. That was it.
Party lines down the middle.
Yeah.
Except.
Your guy.
Rand Paul voted no. Voted broke party lines. And that's what we need to see in this country. Fuck party lines. This fucking girl just spilled wine on my rug. Just leave it. We'll clean it later.
No, you have to like.
So what do you want me to do? Talk about this thing? Well.
Yes, talk about it. But we need.
The vote was 51-48. You go take care of it then. Go.
We need baking soda. Do you have baking soda?
I don't have fucking baking soda. I'm not a baker. This is why we need to get tarred floors sold in here. I was just thinking like, how this is so great that there's no stains on this nice rug I have.
Damn it, I wasted good wine, too. Priorities. I'm not even drunk.
So talk about your opinion of that. I'll get something to clean.
Talk about what?
Your opinion of your whole perspective. You want to talk about this, at least to begin with.
Well, but I think it's interesting.
I'll be right back.
Okay, so Tony's out.
I'm going to get cleaning supplies.
You need, like, baking soda? Okay, so he like, left the office. I guess, like, my opinion, so I know this is a budget thing, but it does affect birth control. And for me personally, I don't understand. It seems like Republicans have, like, this war against women for some reason. And maybe that's not the whole story. Like, maybe that's how the media is portraying it. But I just think about, like, how the things that they vote for put women at such a disadvantage. Like, so this vote that they just cast earlier this week, essentially it will increase the cost of birth control. So if you're increasing the cost of birth control, then you are putting women at a huge disadvantage. Birth control already isn't cheap. So if you increase the cost, then, you know, some women may shy away from birth control. And to me, that just screams, well, that means more babies. Not that there's anything wrong with more babies, but having more unwanted kids that have to either, not necessarily, but I'm just assuming, like, if you don't want a kid and you keep the kid, you're either going to have the kid and resent the kid.
This is like preventing that whole thing. This stops that from this. The vote was to contraceptives, right? Not like abortion.
So
this is before you even get the chance to like keep the kid or whatever.
Right, but the point is,
I'm just making sure for the context.
Yeah, so if you increase the cost of birth control and you make it unaffordable for certain women, then
you're just gonna have either more abortions or more babies.
Well, they're also voting to make abortions harder to get. So you're going to have more kids who are presumably unwanted. And I know some people say, you know, once you're pregnant or you see the baby, like, your feelings change, but sometimes it doesn't. Like, you could resent that kid, or you could put your kid up for adoption. And then just think about how many kids are in the system right now that are wards of the state. You have thousands of kids who don't have homes. And to me, like, that just says, if you are making birth control unaffordable, then you are having an effect on how many kids will be in the system.
You know who I bet was behind this whole fucking thing? The big condom lobby. The fucking big condom lobby, those scumbags. Because now all the guys are going to have to buy more condoms because it means less birth control.
So condoms are a form of birth control too.
Yeah, I know. But it's no shit, Sherlock.
That doesn't make sense. That they
the
have
big
to...
condom lobby was they're probably like they're the Trojan and whatever the fuck the other one is. They don't have much of stake in this fight though. They have stake in making that unaffordable so that condoms are purchased more, right or wrong? I'm not saying it justifies it either way. I'm just saying it's definitely not true either. But if there was a scumbag that was responsible, it makes sense for the condom guys to be behind it. Because now all the guys are gonna have to go out and buy condoms. I fucking hate condoms, those sons of bitches.
I don't know. Maybe I see your point, but I can't.
I'm not trying to say you. I'm not trying to.
I know, but like I can also see the argument saying that condoms are a form of birth control. So those prices would go up too. So if the prices of condoms go
not
up,
in the because in like private sector, like going to buy condoms at like CVS or Walgreens, I don't think that price would be affected by this.
I don't know. It'd
probably be affected in that, like, if you go to Planned Parenthood, you're probably going to be able to get condoms.
Get free condoms?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, some of the government jobs, they provide condoms.
Regardless, to me, making birth control unaffordable will have an adverse effect on how many kids are in the system. And then I'm not making the statement that all kids who are in the system turn out to be shits, but like they don't have a good idea of what a family is. Like they don't. Please stop. They don't.
Sorry, it's a habit.
They don't have a good idea what a family is. They probably don't have those social skills that you learn from being in a family, that you learn from your parents early on. Like they're missing some of those crucial things that you get from being in a family, which to me is like, isn't that like a Republican's like whole big thing? Like,
well, not all Republicans.
Well, maybe not.
Remember last week we said you can't just put everybody into categories?
Yes,
and that break of the vote proves it right there, because not all the Republicans voted for it. Rand's poll from Kentucky. How you doing?
But my point is that Republicans say a lot, about the family, how they care about the family. And it's like, well, if you are having this effect where more kids are coming into the world that aren't wanted, then you are...
Plus, wasn't this something too, and I think that this is important to note, and I think this is why Rand said he did vote against it, that he was going to add debt. There was going to be debt.
Yeah,
debt was part of the vote.
It was like 3 or 9 trillion.
It's enough trillion. How many trillions is enough trillion? We're like $18 trillion in debt. Something's got to give with this fucking debt thing, and we need to have an economist on to talk about this stuff with the...
We did that. That would be an interesting guess. But more than the numbers, you have to think about the quality of life. I'm putting myself into like these women's shoes. Like if I couldn't afford birth control and I ended up pregnant, I don't want kids. So let me go ahead and say that for the record.
This is a very passionate issue for her.
It is. Like I don't want kids. Like unless I adopt. And my whole thing is I'd rather give a child who needs a home than create more children. Like that's like my whole thing. So if I got pregnant and I either had to raise this child or give it up for adoption, if I had to raise the child, I'd probably have some resentment because I didn't want to be in this situation. And if I gave the child away or put it up for adoption, I'm adding to the problem, because it's not free for a child to live as a ward of the state. That's more tax dollars that have to go.
That just adds more debt.
Yeah. No, it doesn't.
More tax dollars?
More tax dollars.
No. So it's either, if you're going to spend this much money, you need to raise the taxes to pay for it. Exactly. Or you just keep piling on the debt and not raise taxes.
To me, it doesn't make sense, and it kind of defeats the purpose of being all about family and being about quality of life and being pro-life, really, because at this point, what kind of life is that for a child to either be raised in a home where they're resented, at least somewhat.
I don't want to say like I don't think.
I'm not saying
there's probably a lot of good, probably a lot of kids out there that's smarter than me that are growing up in those circumstances.
I'm not saying that every person, but I'm gonna say there are gonna be like your onesies and twosies who don't want a kid, and they're gonna resent having a kid, and they may even have to get government assistance because they weren't prepared to have a kid because they always relied on their birth control. And again, I think we mentioned before, I think it costs like upwards of $200,000 to raise a kid. So if I can't afford birth control, I definitely can't afford to raise a child. So I'm gonna have to lean on the government, which is more tax dollars.
Or those fucking pricks. You have to buy condoms.
It just seems to.
You sons of bitches.
Sometimes it just seems like, I don't even know how to word it really, but it just seems like they vote for things to make themselves seem a certain way, but
yeah, but of course.
I mean, like it makes them look a certain way, like, oh, okay, they're all about being responsible.
They're trying to make it seem more like it's pro. Yeah, it's trying to make it seem pro-life.
Yeah, but
you gotta hedge your bets too, and that's why.
Yeah, and you're actually like working against yourself. It's counterintuitive to do those things. So I say
they're appealing to the base.
Yeah, but in the long run,
I know I'm not disagreeing.
You have a bunch of kids out there that have to live, and then you have to raise tax dollars because the family can't afford it, or they're worse to the state, and the state doesn't have any fucking money. So it's just, I don't know. It just kind of like boggles my mind, and it upsets me, especially since I'm on birth control. So
she's going to pay more.
Yeah.
Fuck?
Which honestly, I don't mind paying more so that I don't have kids.
You make a good living.
It's a huge inconvenience. Yes, but I don't want to spend extra money towards that. I need drinks, man. I need shoes. I need purses.
That's good. That's good. It's a good point. And then you could see you.
I guess
you're invested quite literally in this in this discussion.
I am, and it's a big deal to me. And I guess like to me, like this whole like a woman's right to her body, it just baffles me. And like why they're trying to make. Or they're presumably trying to make everything harder for a woman to make her own choices about her body. But I feel like this is developing, so like we'll see what happens.
Go the feminist.
Yeah.
As long as the male pays for everything.
Yeah, basically. I guess we'll see what happens, and like with this vote is more than just birth control, but I mean like this is just like one little thing that I wanted to like hone in on because it's personal to me. And then
I could tell.
And even though I don't like kids, I
could feel it.
Yeah, you feel
the
like
energy
radiating from me.
I'm getting pushed away over here.
But like even though I don't personally want kids, like I understand that kids are our future. And I care about a kid's quality of life because they are innocent in this whole thing. And I would hate to know that kids were born out of this situation because the mom couldn't afford birth control and then their quality of life is shit. Like, to me, like, that just, I don't know. I'm really passionate about that and it just irks my soul. But anyways, we'll have more information on this later. Because I'm sure I'll want to talk about it more. Just so you guys can understand, like, how passionate I am.
And I'm thrilled about that.
Shut up, whatever. Anyways. I feel like I've been talking a lot.
Yeah, you have been. I
just like went on this whole rant.
Pretty sure we hit that point over and over and over. And the kids and the systems and
whatever.
The structure. No, it was good. It was good. What's next though? What's next?
I feel like everything that's next is like stuff that I need to like make a point about.
What about Donald Trump?
So we have Donald Trump speaking styles.
So I have an interesting thought on that, but what did you want to talk about that in the beginning for?
Well, I just saw an article about his speaking styles, and I've always been intrigued when I say always, since he decided to throw his name in the hat, I've been interested in his speaking styles because, like, to me, I think he sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say idiot. I feel like that's a strong word, but to me, he's not as
eloquent. He's definitely not as eloquent as Obama.
Yeah.
He's definitely not as eloquent as, like, Hillary. Like, you watch the debates, you could see, like, who was polished. And if you're just going by the way that they spoke, he does things like the whole. He doesn't pause. He'll be like, okay, I know that what they said. I know that this is what they're saying, but they're wrong. They're wrong, and he speaks in, like, very general, drawn out statements instead of actually addressing the point. He'll carry things out more. If you watch the debates.
Yeah, so, like, to me, he doesn't get his point across. Like, he's very vague in what he's saying, and I know, like, people, like, commentators have, like,
he's what he's saying. It appears as though he doesn't get phased, or he hasn't changed the way he speaks. He speaks consistently. It might not be right or wrong, but, like, when I was listening to Scott Adams, he's the creator of the Dilbert comic strip, and he did, like, this whole he really analyzed the way Donald Trump spoke and the way he's so persuasive and the way he's able to be so persuasive, and he's able to turn, like, the simplest things and, like, deflect them. Like, here's the example: early on the Republican debates, Megyn Kelly asked Trump if he called women pigs, fat pigs, liars, all the bad language. And this was early on in the Republican race. And Trump, unfazed, and, any politician, when you get that question and you're saying that you said this about women, it could be a big deal. The whole campaign could be stopped right there. His campaign could have been stopped in the tracks right before it got started. But Trump, do you remember this? Do you know what I'm talking about? No? Okay. You could say it. She's shaking her head no. You could just say no. But they can't see you shaking your head no. We don't have the video stream yet. So Trump goes like this. I only said that about Rosie O'Donnell.
I didn't get the joke, but okay. Maybe
it wasn't a joke. It was just that she said that he said all these negative things, and he didn't even deny them.
Oh, okay.
But he said it to, like, a target that, and when I say Rosie O'Donnell, what do you think of? Her look, right? What do you think of? You're just gonna disagree with.
No, I just think of the movies that she's been in.
What fucking movies has she been in? I can't remember the last movie she was in.
Was she in that Ladybug movie?
Is this a voice movie? This is like an animated movie?
No.
What Ladybug movie?
Where there was, like, a soccer team.
Oh.
Maybe that wasn't her. I don't know.
Oh my god. But typically when people think of Rosie O'Donnell, you get the visual of, like, the big
lesbian,
big fat. Like, I'm using, you could say that too.
I don't know.
Just like she's not. It's not a pretty picture. Let's say
Why isn't it a pretty picture? Are you saying because she's big?
No,
she's not pretty?
I have no problem with that, ladies. How you doing? $12.95. But typically it sounds like you don't think of her as, like, a model or whatever, Rosie.
Are you saying there aren't big models? Okay, I'm done. Just keep talking.
You just got it.
Just busting your balls.
I'm gonna do this when I should have been cutting off your birth control thing a lot more. Well, fucking up my flow.
Sorry, keep talking.
So
Rosie O'Donnell, you had this.
The point was that Trump puts things in a visual perspective, and that's how he frames things, and that's how he persuades things. Because most people, and I think you said this actually a couple weeks ago on the podcast, we're visual creatures.
Mm-hmm.
And he's able to put things in like a certain term, like when you see, like he did with Ted Cruz, called him Lion Ted, because Ted Cruz looks like a dude, like a fucking lawyer.
Man.
Right or wrong?
No, I never liked Ted Cruz from the moment I saw him. Like, something about his face.
About his face, it's like
I totally get it.
People like go after him too. He did something with Hillary Clinton, Crooked Hillary.
Uh-huh.
He creates these catchy. Friend, this is Scott Adams, the guy that created Dilbert. that I'm echoing right now, because he predicted Trump was going to win early on in the race. And I heard this on the Joe Rogan podcast, because he was on there
Your favorite couple
weeks ago. I'm gonna bring up something different about Joe Rogan every week, about people in his podcast, because it's brilliant. Because Scott Adams predicted that Trump was going to win early on, and he took a lot of backlash for it. But all he did, and it wasn't even like a partisan thing. He didn't like. It's not like he was a Trump guy. He didn't even vote, actually. He just looked at the way he spoke and the way he said things, and you don't necessarily. They say it about bullshitters all the time. Not that I'm like, I don't know. We'll see what happens with Trump and everything, but confidence is like 90% of an argument. And they say that people could debate all the time, but 90% of the time, if you're just ideologically different, you're gonna walk away from debating somebody that's ideologically different than you, thinking that you won, just because that's how your mind was made up prior to the debate beginning, or prior to that conversation beginning. And I think that it's okay for people to have different opinions, and sometimes you're just gonna disagree because ideologies are just that, they're ideal. And they all make sense in their ideological state, in their ideal state. That's why they were all fucking thought of to begin with. Somebody thought they had the solution to society, but fucking human beings is way too fucking complicated. And everybody says no system's perfect. But like Marxism's supposed to be like the utopian state and everything. But every time Marxism's put into effect, there's fucking millions of people getting killed. And that's what happens when you centralize power. That's part, and that's another thing that Jordan Peterson was talking about.
So, bringing it back to Trump. So,
hey, how you doing, Trump?
Well, so I found this article, and it's called Trump's unique speaking style.
Speaking.
So one of the points that they make is that his
I went off of that from Trump's speaking style, and we got into Marxism.
I know, so I was like, let's bring it back, because I feel like that's a whole other episode, right?
Take it back to the next episode. Dr. Dre.
The writer of this article makes a point that maybe his speaking styles is a characteristic of him being from New York, and apparently in New York, when you're talking, it's okay for other people to finish your sentences, and so Trump is notorious for not finishing his sentences when he speaks, and then his fans or his supporters, they finish his sentences for him. So a lot of times, I listen to a lot of political commentary, and they're like, well, what does Trump mean when he says this? And then somebody calling, well, oh, he meant this, or oh, he meant that. And it's he's kind of giving you a little bit, and then you just kind of take it and make it what you want. And so they were saying maybe this is why the way he speaks, it appeals to some people, because he's not giving them the whole story necessarily, so they can kind of make up the end that fits their own beliefs. So it's kind of like a broadcast, and then you just take it and make your own. Which I
think that's part of what
it kind of makes sense. It's actually a smart move, because if you give someone all the details, then they can't really veer from it. They can't use their imagination or whatever to come up with different assumptions or different conclusions, because they have everything there. But if you give them just a little bit, then they can just make it their own.
But there's still something that the way he spoke appealed to a lot of people.
So yeah, that's
because
another.
If I'm listening to somebody and I think they're an asshole, if I just think they're an asshole, they call Trump the king of the assholes, because now a bunch of assholes are empowered because the president just says whatever the fuck he wants. I'm gonna fit what he's saying to not fit what I believe, because I don't want to be associated with that guy. But a lot of people clearly want to be associated with this guy because he won.
Yeah, and so that was another point that they brought up. His speeches are appealing because he used salesman's tricks. So the way that he talks is very showman-y, very salesman-y, and he uses these catchphrases to get people
Lion
hooked.
Ted, Crooked Hillary.
Exactly, and it's short tidbits of information that
Jeb
people
Bush,
can.
No energy Ted. Jeb Bush, no energy Jeb. Jeb was supposed to be the big. He was the favorite, the establishment guy. The party was behind Jeb Bush, and he was leading the polls early on. And then he just said, once he said low energy Ted, And it's right. I was listening to it, and it's actually true because
Low energy Ted or Jeb?
Jeb. I'm sorry, I'm saying Ted. Lion Ted and low energy Jeb, because Jeb Bush. Once you saw that and you heard him say that, it aligns with your mind and it matches that guy's output because that guy had no fucking energy.
Yeah. So like, and he would like repeat those phrases over and over again, so they get like stuck in your head.
Yep.
And so, like, I find
that's crazy. This is exactly like what I was listening to.
Yeah, I find that so interesting because this is actually like a part of cognitive science, like how people use certain phrases or words to kind of like impose their opinions and views on other people. So it's like it's very
subconscious. You relate to it subconscious. You don't even notice that it's making sense to you.
It's scary, but it's kind of cool to see how he did that. And I am not a Trump champion at all, but I think I said it last week, but I just admire what he did because if it was anybody else, I don't think they could have done it. And it scares me. It literally scares me because I don't know what's gonna happen, but I don't know. That's so crazy. You know, people spend years like studying this, like studying like how to speak, you know, like how people interpret messages.
That's like the whole art, the whole sales art and everything.
Yeah, so I mean, like people spend years in their careers doing this, and obviously, like he's a career businessman, so like he's obviously had like
he's missing the art of the deal.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But like for me, listening to Trump, like I can't stand it. It's too incoherent for me to follow. But apparently majority of Americans like that.
They say that, then people are going to say the popular vote didn't go to him because it wasn't the majority.
True. Very true. Very true. A good number of Americans.
The race that matters of Americans and that.
Ooh, do we want to get in? Oh, the race.
I'm talking about the.
Never mind. The
electoral college race
was
the only race that they were running in, not the popular vote race.
I'm tracking now. Just ignore me.
That'll be something. That'll be good. I got a good guest in mind for that.
I am ready. I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that conversation. I have a lot of input on race in America, which actually brings me to the last topic for today.
All right, let's do it. Let's close it out. I gotta get on the road.
Yeah, he has important things to do, apparently. So my sister sends me the screenshot of something from Mississippi, where we're from.
The Sunshine State.
That is not Mississippi, but okay.
Oh, my bad, the Golden State.
No.
I'm sorry, continue with your sister.
It's the hospitality state, but whatever. So anyways, apparently.
Oh, okay, this is good.
So apparently.
It's not good.
It's interesting. So apparently, this ER in Biloxi, I believe, they are going to be closed on Monday. And for those of you who are listening in the super duper future, Monday is Martin Luther King Day. So Biloxi, they actually said, let me pull it up so that I do not butcher it. This is what it says. This is from the city of Biloxi, by the way. Non-emergency municipal offices in Biloxi will be closed on Monday in observance of Great Americans Day, a state-named holiday.
Well, who are the people that determined that? Who'd you say it was that made it, that called it that? This was like a state
name holiday.
This was like the state government passed a law changing the name, or?
So, okay. I have 100 million issues with this.
Go ahead.
Okay, first of all,
I don't need to hear all 100 million, but
reason number one. But okay, so first of all, Martin Luther King Day is a federal holiday. So
the state government doesn't outrank the federal government.
Exactly. Like, where the fuck do you get the nerve to come in as a state to change the name of a holiday?
They changed the name, or
it's a state-named holiday.
Can I see it?
Great Americans Day.
Go ahead.
So, first of all, where do you get the nerve? And then, I feel like, I mean, this is Mississippi. I was raised there, so I feel 100%.
Hold on, Martin Luther King Day. That's his birthday, I imagine. Let me look him up.
So Martin Luther King Day is the second Monday.
It's always the second Monday in February.
In
January.
No, it's a.
Whoa.
I think it's the third Monday. I think it's always the third Monday. It's always a Monday, right? I literally don't even know my holidays.
I'm gonna look him up.
Or is it always the 15th? Maybe it's always the 15th because that's his birthday.
So it's probably like it's around this time because it's affiliated with his birthday.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. January 15th, that's his birthday.
So
who the fuck is Great American? What Great American? This is even if like you're doing this outside of Martin Luther King. What great Americans were born on January 15th? Anyway,
right. So
it's a passive aggressive.
It's so passive aggressive, and like this is Mississippi, and
that's like really stupid.
Pretty much everyone knows that Mississippi is like one of the most racist states. You know, you have like Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, Texas.
Hospitality,
yeah. So I don't understand like how you can rename something Great American Day where you are essentially taking away the accomplishments of like one individual, regardless of his race, which I firmly believe that race has something to do with this, because every time there's something that celebrates a black person, you know, people get all up in arms. So
there's some racist asshole at the top of like behind the Great American. What did you say? City of Biloxi? What is it? City of.
It's Biloxi, but it's a state name, so Biloxi didn't have anything to do with it.
So it's some. I don't. That's for me to make sense of it. That's the only way it can make sense. Like, what do you like? Even if like you have a problem with it, why do you have to go so far as to
change the name?
That's not even like private racism. That's like public racism.
And you know, like each state has their own history class that they teach. So like in 9th grade in Mississippi, you learn about Mississippi history. So I'm just thinking like years and years down the road, like they're not even gonna talk about Martin Luther King. They're just gonna talk about Great Americans Day, which is like so dumb.
There's no way that can stay on there.
I told my sister, I was like, I hope someone's like staging a protest or like talking to legislators or something, because this is not okay. You just can't erase somebody's accomplishments for whatever reason and like wrap it into a Great Americans. And I feel like if you're gonna do that, then you need to get rid of like some of these other holidays, like fucking Columbus Day, who isn't an American, he didn't even discover American. But if you're gonna change Martin Luther King Day, then let's fucking get rid of Columbus Day. No. What else? Let's fucking get rid of President's Day, because like we generally assume that our presidents are great Americans, so let's not even fucking celebrate President's Day.
If you can have a Great Americans Day, then you pretty much wrap everybody up into that one holiday.
I know. Everyone that we celebrate.
That name is so ridiculous. That's like, because they tried to make this name that like nobody could get mad at.
I know, it's so PC, right?
That's like,
it's like super PC.
That is a vagina move to do.
That is such a dick move.
I said vagina. She said.
But also,
that's where our heads are at.
Like literally, that's where his head is. Okay. Anyway.
He's not.
But also, I just want to like take a moment to just like let's talk about Martin Luther King and like everything that he has done for America. And you know, some people can make the argument where, oh, he was just trying to do that, you know, for black people, because
from what I'm not an expert on Martin Luther King, but from everything. I took an African American history class in college, and from everything that I remember hearing about him was that it was all universal as far as like race goes. And that's that whole fucking "I have a dream" speech that white people and black people, and then in rush hour they even say even Chinese people.
Well, I mean, the whole thing is like equality. Like we should all be based on our character and not the color of our skin. You know, that's
a like almost verbatim quote from Martin Luther King just said.
Yeah, so it's
judge me by the content of my character.
Yeah, so it's like he lived most of his life and he died trying to promote equality, and even though at the heart of it, it was so that black people could be treated equally. It still had like second and third order effects for everyone that came to America. You know, like, this is America. We're supposed to be welcoming. We're supposed to be this country of freedom, of dreams. So everyone should have the access and the ability to achieve those dreams equally. And to just like take that away out of a simple name, and I'm sure, you know, like, people are like, well, you know, like, you can celebrate it in your heart, or you can always make sure you don't forget. But if something's like so public like this, like, it's such an attack on black people, like, it's not even cool to me.
I could even understand if like the holiday wasn't already passed and you're like, oh, I don't know if that should have a holiday, but it's already enacted and it's part of like the tradition of really every year.
But I feel like you can credit him with so much of what has happened to...
Yeah, well, the Civil Rights Act in 1965 was passed during, like... when did he die? Because it was during Johnson, after Kennedy. Because I remember seeing the Johnson speech. Not that I was around for it, but hold on. 1968. So... his movement must have been a strong enabler for the Civil Rights Act of 1965 to be passed. And he was the focal point of it.
Yeah, like, he was the leader of the civil rights movement, and
there was a lot of shit that was fucked up until that time, and like, people today, we're like more removed from it, but
yeah, I think we take it for granted.
Amount of, yeah.
And we don't understand like what those people
went
through.
Was still like, was that like when water fountains were still split up and shit?
Yeah, it was
in 1960. That's not a long time ago.
I think
that's recent.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about how long the world or like the country has been here, yeah, it's very recent. I mean, obviously people are still alive from that time.
Yeah.
But like, my mom, she's a little bit older, and like, she was going to a school before desegregation was a thing. So like, she went to an all black school before they had to desegregate. So it's just like, I don't know. I'm just baffled by this whole thing of changing the name to Great Americans Day. Like, give the man his due props. Because of him, the world, or at least America, I believe, is a better place for everyone.
Yeah, it's rare that for somebody to be able to do what he was able to do, like,
yeah, exactly.
He's really like renowned. He's got my favorite quote of all time too.
What's that?
I want to bring it up here. There comes a time when I'm fucking up my favorite quote.
You're fucking it up, okay.
There comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe, nor politic, nor popular, but he must take it because his conscience tells him it is right. And I think that's a good way to talk about his legacy and to talk about some shit in the modern age, because it's easy to talk about stuff when it's safe or convenient for you. It's easy to talk about stuff when you're disagreeing with the popular masses. But to remove yourself from that and simply take a position just because it morally makes sense and consciously you could say that it's the right thing to do, is what really gives you individuality. Because everything else, as far as I'm concerned, it makes you just like another cog in the machine or another cunt out there.
Another cunt. Anyways, so I mean, I wanted to bring this up because it makes me so mad. It just feels like lately a lot of things have been an attack on minorities for some reason, and a part of me thinks is because like white males, middle class specifically, like they feel like they've been attacked or left out.